Welcome back to another episode of Thinking with Mike, and today we are going to cover what in the heck happened in 2021 in real estate. How did that shake down? What did we deal with? And most importantly, what is 2022 going to look like, and how can we operate in that next marketplace to be super successful, whether you're buying, selling, or anything in between. All right, so first and foremost, what happened in 2021? As a result of government intervention and the pandemic, inventory, houses for sale went super low because people didn't want to move. Once people were ready to start moving, the sellers looked into the marketplace and realized there was nothing to buy, so they got scared and they didn't move anymore, right? So now we continually have artificially low inventory because sellers aren't selling because they don't know where they're going. As a result of that, the government and the Fed took interest rates and they lowered them down to historical rates to try to stimulate the buyer marketplace. And so we've never seen them this low, and that made demand for housing go through the roof and pricing went through the roof. And so we have this perfect storm of sellers being afraid to move, tons of buyers being able to buy a ton of house because interest rates are basically nothing, prices rocketing, and it just was a bloodbath. So all of that being said, what does that matter now? It doesn't matter at all because we already lived it. Let's talk about where we're going and how we're going to be successful. But before we get to what we're going to do in 2022 to continue to be successful, please like, subscribe, comment, share this thing, because the more you do that, the more people will see it and the more I'm going to do this. Thanks. So let's start with what we do know. We know that the Federal Reserve is going to be raising interest rates, right? They're going to try to curb the inflation, and that super matters for buyers and sellers because when their interest rates go up a half point or a full point, that really can cut your buying power down. Your same payment can be the same hundreds of thousands of dollars off. If the interest rates look appealing to you and they match the pricing of the home that you want, move quickly and do it now. Don't wait, because if they go up, you might not be able to buy the house that you can afford today, right? Next, let's talk about inventory. Will we see more houses for sale on the marketplace? And the answer is it's a big maybe. New construction is typically one of the safe havens for people that go to when we have low inventory, right? You just go buy a new home and you don't worry about it. But new construction, even the national home builders like Lennar and Pulte, they cannot get their inventory or supply chains stabilized right now. So they're not building as quickly as they can. Add all the government bureaucracy into the mix, and they no longer can afford to build houses at entry-level prices. So I don't think we're going to see new construction coming to the rescue and filling the supply void. So if new construction isn't our great savior, what about sellers? Are more sellers going to be putting their houses on the market to fill the inventory void? That's a big maybe, because it's pretty grim when you go out there to look on the marketplace. You're not going to see a lot of inventory. You've got to do all the steps to get ready and wait for it to show up. It's not a matter of just saying, okay, I'm ready to go, let's go buy it. So I don't know if that's going to solve from a seller perspective. The last thing that we do really know is that there's a lot of people who want to buy and sell right now. And for a lot of different reasons that we've never seen before. This work from home has people just moving around the country because they can. So there's a lot of different reasons people are moving and selling and buying and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to still see that. So we do have to find a problem solve. We can't let the fear get in the way of us moving our lives forward. So that brings us on to our third segment. How are we going to be successful in 2022 with all that mess in mind? Number one, interest rates. What are we going to do to combat rising interest rates? Move sooner than later. That's it. Okay. Honestly, if we end up trickling up to 4%, that's still a great interest rate. But if you can get something with a 3 in front of it, that's incredible. So just do it sooner. Stop listening to the excuses of now and then or whatever. Get going sooner with the process, because the sooner you're successful, the lower your interest rate is going to be. And that's almost guaranteed right now based on the way that the Federal Reserve is speaking. Number two, how do we battle low inventory? Now, this is just going to be playing the record again from 2021. If you're just a buyer and you're just trying to buy a house, put your battle armor on, get ready to go and start writing offers on houses and be tough about it, because you're gonna have to fight for the house that you really like. If you don't have to fight for a house in this marketplace, you shouldn't be buying it because nobody else wants it. And believe me, there's other buyers out there. So if nobody else wants the house you wanna buy, you're missing something. So the right house, you better be ready to fight for it because you're going to have competition. So get started, partner with a really great agent. Right here, we know how to wade the waters when there's 20 to 30 offers there. We know how to be successful in those situations. And it's vital that you have somebody who's been there, done that, knows how to rise to the top of the other 30 offers. Sellers, low inventory. It's scary. We have this house, it fits our needs, but it doesn't fit our long-term vision of where we want to be. So we know that we've got to move. And it is terrifying, especially for the sellers who really need the equity out of their property, to to move on to the next property, right? We need the down payment money. You guys are gonna have to start getting creative, right? And we know how to do that. We can find ways to access your equity and apply that to your next house before you sell, to take the question mark out. On top of that, there's different things that we can do to become more of a power buyer, right? How do we partner with people that give us cash offers so that we're really powerful on that buy side to limit that time in between the transition? And 3, get flexible. I know it's hard, but if there's a transitionary period between you selling and you buying, we have these amazing resources like Airbnbs where you can rent a house by the night and have a place for your family to land. I understand it's not perfect, it's not ideal, but get flexible and that will get you to where you're going. So that's it, you guys. We're gonna have a fun 2022, and the common denominator, if you take anything away from this, is get going and do it. Be ready to fight the fight, because it's a lot of fun if you have the right mentality on. Get flexible, get tough, and most importantly, partner with a really awesome agent who's been there, who can stay steady through the course, who understands what happens in a multiple offer situation, who understands how to put the different pieces together in a seamless way that flat out just makes the experience fun and not stressful. So let's do it together, you guys. See you in 2022. Merry Christmas.